Breaking! The Eagles could land a two-time All-Pro star in a shocking free agency twist, and it might completely change the defense for 2025. Could Philly steal a game-changing cornerback from Green Bay and turn him into a weapon under Vic Fangio? Strap in, Eagles fans, this could get wild. Eagles Nation, buckle up, because we've got major buzz out of Philly today, and things are heating up fast. The Eagles are back in the headlines, and not just for one reason. We've got rumors flying about a potential signing of star cornerback Jaire Alexander, a former All-Pro who just hit the free agency market. That's right, the Birds might swoop in and grab a defensive superstar. On top of that, Howie Roseman just made a huge move in the front office, hiring what's being called a rising star to help shape this team's future. And yes, Saquon Barkley is making noise too, after throwing shade at Patrick Mahomes. Oh, and we've got a rookie contract signed, and possibly some bad news looming for 2025. But let's start with the Jaire Alexander situation, cause this is huge. ESPN insiders Adam Schefter and Jeremy Fowler dropped the bombshell. The Eagles might be interested in signing Alexander, who was just released by the Packers. For weeks, Green Bay tried to trade him, especially during the NFL draft, but they couldn't get an offer they liked. So what did they do? They tried to restructure his contract, but Alexander wasn't having it. And just like that, the Packers let him go. It's a surprising move. This Green Bay team is young, talented, and on the rise. Remember when they shocked the Cowboys 2 years ago in the playoffs? Then they gave the 49ers all they could handle. Last season was a bit of a roller coaster, but they still made the postseason and fought hard until the Eagles sent them home. But now, they've released one of their best defensive players. Now, let's be real. Jaire Alexander hasn't played a full season in a while. He's battled injuries, and he had one of the biggest contracts among all NFL corners. But when he's healthy, this guy is elite. Straight up lockdown. He was a first-round pick back in 2018, and since then, he's earned 2 second-team All-Pro selections and made the Pro Bowl both years. He has 12 career interceptions, and when he's on the field, quarterbacks think twice before throwing his way. But here's the issue. In the last 4 seasons, Alexander has only played in just over 30 games. That's a problem when you're paid like a top 10 corner. That's why the Packers had to move on. But that's also exactly why the Eagles might be able to grab him on a cheap 1-year deal. Here's what Adam Schefter said on Philly radio this morning. If the price is right, a 1-year deal, low number, the Eagles can absolutely make that work if they want it. So do they want it? It comes down to 2 names, Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio. These two are building the defense together. Fangio already made waves in the draft by going after Jihad Campbell. He even helped turn Zach Bond into an inside linebacker after Howie brought him in as an edge rusher. Fangio has a vision, and when he talks, Howie listens. So if they think Jaire fits that plan, even just for 1 season, the Eagles could make this move and instantly add a smart, aggressive, experienced leader to the secondary. And honestly, that's exactly what this defense needs. What do you think, Eagles fans? Should Philly take a shot on Jaire Alexander, or is the injury history too risky? Drop your thoughts in the comments and rate your confidence in the Eagles' defense for 2025 on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's hear it, Rooster Speech Flames. Now let's talk about what the Eagles' defense could actually look like if they do the unthinkable and sign Jaire Alexander. Just picture this lineup. Philly fans, because it could be nasty. Vic Fangio has already talked about Cooper DeJean playing strong safety next to Reed Blankenship, who would hold down the free safety spot. That alone gives you a smart, fast, physical duo in the back end. But now, imagine lining up Quinyon Mitchell and Jaire Alexander as your starting outside cornerbacks. 2 aggressive ball hawks, both with elite speed and instincts. That secondary could lock down almost any passing attack in the NFL. And that's just in the base defense. In nickel packages, when the Eagles bring in an extra defensive back, you could see Andrew Mukuba or Sidney Brown rotating in at safety, while Avonte Maddox or Cooper DeJean slides down to the nickel corner spot. Meanwhile, Blankenship stays back and Mitchell and Alexander lock down the outside. That's a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. Speed, versatility, experience, youth, everything you want in a Fangio defense. But here's the catch. If the Eagles go all in on this plan, it could send a message that maybe they don't fully trust Kelee Ringo yet. And that would be tough to hear for a lot of fans because Ringo has serious potential. He's 6 feet 2 inches, over 200 pounds, and runs a blazing 4.340. That's size, strength, and speed in one. He was one of the standout performers in mandatory minicamp. Coaches noticed he looked confident, locked in, like a player ready to take the next step. So, what's the move? Do you go all in on youth and let Ringo grow? Or do you sign Alexander, take the risk with his injury history, and load up for one more shot at a Super Bowl? If Jair is willing to sign a cheap one-year deal, it could be a no-brainer. A prove-it year, low risk, high reward. That kind of deal is exactly what Howie Roseman loves. And here's where things get really interesting. According to Jeremy Fowler, people close to Jair Alexander say he values loyalty and connection. That's why Philly makes a lot of sense, because Eagles defensive backs coach Christian Parker was with Jair back in Green Bay. He coached him during some of Alexander's best seasons, when he was healthy, confident, and playing at an elite level. And that relationship, it might be the key to bringing him to Philly. Parker isn't just any coach either. He's being called a future defensive coordinator, maybe even the next DC of the Eagles. Once Vic Fangio eventually retires, he's earned major respect, not just from Fangio, but also from Nick Sirianni and Sean Payton. Last year, Parker worked wonders with 2 rookies, Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. Both were trusted as day-one starters on what turned into the #1 first overall defense in football. And yes, they won the Super Bowl. That's not a fluke. That's great coaching. So if Parker believes in Alexander, and Alexander trusts Parker, this might actually happen. So here's the question of the day. Should the Eagles sign Jair Alexander or trust the young guns like Kaylee Ringo? Type a S in the comments if you want Philly to sign Jair Alexander. Type a P if you think they should pass and keep building through youth. Let's hear it, Eagles fans. What's the move? Sound off below. Rooster fire down. All right, Eagles fans, let's keep it rolling, because the Birds just made a major front office move that could shape the future of this team for years to come. Philly has just hired a rising star in football scouting, someone who's young, sharp, and already building a name for himself across the college football world. That name? Preston Tiffany. Now you're probably asking, who is this guy? He might look like he's still in college, but don't be fooled. Preston Tiffany has been a fast-rising talent behind the scenes, and now he's bringing his skills to the Philadelphia Eagles. He comes from LSU, where he was the director of player personnel, which means he helped recruit, scout, and manage talent for one of the most loaded programs in the country. And before LSU, he held the same role at Ole Miss, another powerhouse that's been producing NFL talent year after year. This is not just some random name. This is a guy who's been responsible for helping build 2 of the most competitive teams in college football. Let's break it down. From 2018 to 2020, Tiffany was working at South Carolina as an assistant in recruiting and player personnel while getting his degree in economics and finance. Yes, he's smart. Then, from 2020 to 2024, he rose fast at Ole Miss, going from graduate assistant all the way up to director of player personnel. By 2023, he was helping the Rebels put together their best season in school history, winning 11 games, crushing Penn State in the Peach Bowl, and finishing ranked number 9th in the country. After that incredible run, LSU brought him in. That tells you everything. Big-time programs don't hire nobodies. They go after winners. And now, Howie Roseman is bringing him to Philadelphia. Why is this such a big deal? Because the Eagles have lost a lot of front office talent recently. When you win like Philly has, 2 Super Bowl appearances since 2017, 1 championship, and a roster full of stars, other NFL teams start rating your staff. Executives, scouts, coaches, everyone wants a piece of the Eagles formula. So this move, it's about reloading the brain trust, rebuilding the pipeline of football minds that help this team stay ahead of the competition. Howie Roseman knows what he's doing, and this hiring shows that he's still playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Preston Tiffany may be young, but he's a grinder, a winner, and now he's in the building, ready to help the Eagles find the next generation of NFL stars. Let's see what this kid brings to Philly. He's earned the shot, and now he's on the big stage. What do you think about this hire, Eagles Nation? Is Howie Roseman building the NFL's smartest front office? Or are you still concerned about all the turnover? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk football. Let's talk future. Type smart move if you believe in this hire, or still skeptical if you're not sold just yet. Let's talk about the power of the midnight green, because Saquon Barkley just made NFL history again. First, he took down Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Now, he's beating Mahomes off the field too. The NFLPA just released its year-end player sales rankings, and Saquon Barkley finished #1 in the entire league. That means no NFL player sold more jerseys, gear, and officially licensed merchandise than Saquon. Not even Mahomes or Jalen Hurts. Let that sink in. Barkley is the first running back to top this list since Ezekiel Elliott in 2017, back when Zeke was the face of the NFL backfield. And now, that spotlight belongs to number 26 in Philly. It's no surprise. After signing with the Eagles in free agency, Saquon exploded in 2024. Let's run the numbers. 345, carries over 2,000 rushing yards, 15 total touchdowns, 5.8 yards per carry, 125 plus yards per game. That's dominance. That's MVP-level production. Saquon wasn't just a star. He was the engine of the Eagles' offense. Electric, unstoppable. Every time he touched the ball, you held your breath because something special was about to happen, and fans noticed. That jersey, flying off shelves. The highlights, viral. The hype, well-earned. He even made the cover of Madden 26. After that iconic hurdle over the Jaguars defender, lit up social media for weeks. Now let's all hope the Madden curse takes the year off, because Barkley himself just said something that fired us up. I feel like I'm just entering my prime. I want to play this great game for a long time. He's not going anywhere, and he's not slowing down. The injuries in New York, they may have actually helped him in the long run. Less wear and tear, fewer hits, and now he's healthier, stronger, and ready to carry the Birds forward. But hold up, bad news for the Eagles in 2025. While everything seems to be clicking in Philly right now, we have to talk about something that could spell trouble next season. NFL betting expert Steve Fezzik recently shared a warning on Ross Tucker's podcast, and it should get every Eagles fan's attention. Fezzik pointed out that last year, Philadelphia was one of the 4 healthiest teams in the NFL, alongside Baltimore, Atlanta, and Minnesota. That's good, right? Not exactly. In the world of sharp betting, health is often seen as a temporary edge, something that swings back the other way. And when you look at the trends, the healthiest teams one year often suffer more injuries the next. Fezzik also said that smart bettors are hammering the under on the Eagles' win total for 2025. That line is set at 11.5 wins. But there's big money coming in against Philly. That doesn't mean disaster is guaranteed, but it's a warning, 'cause we all know, in the NFL, health changes everything. Can Saquon stay on the field? Can Hurts stay upright for 17 games? Can the defense stay strong with all those young guys? The talent is there, but the Eagles are going to need some luck too. And if the odds are shifting, Philly needs to stay sharp and stay ready. So here's the question, Eagles Nation. Do you think the Birds can hit 12-plus wins again in 2025? Or is the injury bug just waiting to strike? Type fly if you believe in a healthy run back to the top. Type cautious if you're worried about this trend. And don't go anywhere, because up next, we're talking about the Eagles' newest first-rounder and what his rookie contract tells us about the front office's big plans. So why are the sharp bettors turning against the Eagles? It's all about one word, health. Ross Tucker made a great point. Back between 2016 and 2019, the Eagles were one of the most injury-plagued teams in football. Every week felt like a war zone. Starters dropping like flies. The roster getting thinner and thinner. But since Nick Sirianni took over, something changed. The Eagles rebuilt their training staff, overhauled their medical team, and since then, Philly has been one of the healthiest teams in the NFL. Just look at the numbers. In 2022, every single starter from Week 1 played in the Super Bowl. In 2024, 21 out of 22 starters were still standing when Philly made it to the big game again. That's almost unheard of in the NFL, and you can't just chalk it up to luck. This medical staff is doing something special. From injury recovery to conditioning to preventing soft tissue issues, whatever it is, it's working, and it's been keeping the Eagles championship ready. But here's the truth, if the injury bug hits again, like it did in the past, it could be the one thing that derails this team's dynasty-level potential. The roster is young, the stars are locked in, the front office is loaded, and the team is hungry. If they stay healthy, they can build a run like the Patriots did. But if that health starts to slip, things can fall apart fast. Contract alert. Jihad Campbell deal is done now to close out. Let's talk about a major move from the front office. NFL insider Tom Pelissero just broke the news. The Eagles have officially signed first-round pick Jihad Campbell. It's a 4-year deal worth almost $15 million fully guaranteed, and it includes that all-important 5th-year option. Only 4 first-round picks remain unsigned, and Philly is not on that list. Let's remember something here. The Eagles had Jihad Campbell graded as a top 10 talent, and they landed him at pick number 31. That's robbery, that's value, and that's front office brilliance from Howie Roseman. Campbell is still recovering from that shoulder surgery, but this week at mandatory minicamp, we saw him out there with a helmet moving around, doing light drills. He didn't take part in full team reps yet, but he's on track. And that's exactly what you want to see before training camp. Training camp officially begins July 22nd. That's when the grind starts, the pads come on, and the 2025 journey truly begins. Eagles fans, this is where we find out what this team is really made of. Do you believe this core can stay healthy and start a dynasty? Or are you worried about history repeating itself with injuries? Drop a real one in the comments if you're riding with the birds through thick and thin. Type Dynasty if you believe the Eagles are about to run the league for years. Thanks for watching. Now strap in, because this season is going to be something special. Rooster.